Hello and welcome back to the Product Pup, where we talk about all things tech, business, startups, ideas, products, and pretty much everything related. Today we're talking about non-technical pathways and roles into tech. So if you're someone who doesn't know how to code, you're not interested in coding, and you just don't have a technical background, or if you don't know anything about tech at all and maybe you work in a totally different industry, maybe you want to make a career transition, whatever it might be, what are some ways in which you can get started in tech? Recently, I've seen some up-and-coming products and services that are specifically focusing on helping people get into the tech industry and to help accelerate the amount of time it takes for them to actually get started and get that first foot in the door. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my initial impressions and doing a quick review of 5 of these products and services. So these are Jolt, Flockjay, 1 Week PM, and Skillcrush. I will be sharing my genuine and honest opinion of what I think of each of them. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I'm really passionate about helping people who are non-technical or less technical thrive in the tech industry. A bit about myself: I did study commerce and information systems. I consider myself non-technical, even though I do have a little bit of an understanding of technical concepts. I previously founded 2 startups, one of which I managed all the technology for, and now I work as a product manager for a pretty technical product. I'll now be pulling up the website for our first product. So let's start with Flockjay. Flockjay tells you that they help you learn tech sales and get a top tech job. Flockjay is a mission-led company. We're working to make tech accessible to people from all backgrounds, locations, for a more diverse and inclusive future. So when we jump onto the Flockjay website, their homepage, you immediately can tell that this is solely focused on tech sales. Now, tech sales is one of the many non-technical roles you can get in the tech industry. They do online classes with live instructors, and it seems that they kind of accelerate the learning of tech sales into 10 weeks. So my assumption is that they probably teach you the fundamentals of how a tech company works, what the fundamentals of selling are, but of course realize that when you actually join a particular company, you're gonna have to learn that product. Aim to have graduates that work at Zoom, at Stripe, at Slack, Salesforce. They've got some good testimonials and some good success stories. Flockjay holds classes remotely and part-time, which is great because that means if you're working a full-time job or maybe you're studying something else, then you should be able to easily fit this into your schedule. The fact that they have a no-risk program, you have the option to pay a $0 tuition until you have a job earning $40,000 or more. And they have flexible payment options that are aimed at helping launch your career. That is very interesting. I would be interested to know more about that, and whether it genuinely is a zero tuition, or if there are some caveats or terms and conditions that come with that. They've broken down the 10 weeks into what looks like 5 different learning areas. The first couple of weeks are focused on basically sales and what it means to, I guess, be a salesperson. The next couple of weeks you focus on inbound sales, then you focus on outbound sales, and then it looks like week 7 to 8 is specifically focused on technical sales software. And then the last 2 weeks is more around preparing you for actually applying for roles and working in a job. They also help you land a job. So I think this is important. Oftentimes you can do an online course yourself, or you can go do some study, but ensuring that you have the right things on your CV and you're preparing for an interview in the right way is a really big part of that process as well. Looks like Flockjay is only available to those based in the US from my initial impressions, and the fees are $6,000 US, and it's even more if you live in California, so I'm not sure why that is. But the good thing is that they do have a payment plan, so you can make the payments over an 18-month period, and you only pay if you are earning $40,000 or more. They have a application process, and then you have an interview, and then a decision is made. So I do like that. Hopefully they're somewhat selective about who they're taking into this program. So they've got a weekly curriculum. They tell you exactly what topics are covered. They have broken that down by topics as well as tools, which is good. Okay, and then I'm going to just Google Flockjay and let's see what comes up. So Flockjay has been featured in TechCrunch. I always think that's a good sign because TechCrunch don't typically feature just any old business. TechCrunch is quite selective about who they feature. The reason I know that is because I actually had the privilege of pitching my startup and hearing from one of the chief editors at TechCrunch a few years ago, and he gave us a lot of insight into how to actually get featured in TechCrunch. So it seems like Flockjay is like a coding bootcamp, but it's focused on tech sales. I actually think this is a brilliant idea because so many people could pick up skills in sales and then just apply those skills to the tech industry. And a lot of people probably don't realize that that is even an option for them to do. And sometimes if you have aspirations for getting into other parts of tech, then sales is a great place to start, because in selling a particular product, you obviously have to learn that product. You acquire a lot of product knowledge, you talk to prospective customers, you learn what they want, you have to interface with product teams, and it's all around a really good place to start. I'm not discounting the fact though that sales is difficult. So from that initial impression, I think Flockjay is something I would certainly consider exploring more. Flockjay could be good for someone who has an interest in sales but doesn't know how to get into that area, someone who's done sales previously but maybe doesn't know how to apply sales to the tech industry, because software sales is probably very different to selling physical products or something like that. And maybe this is also good for someone who wants to work in tech but they have no idea what they want to do, and maybe starting and exploring sales is a good way to do that. Open question I have for Flockjay is, who are their instructors? And secondly, as part of attending those online classes, is there any additional work that you would have to do? Okay, next I'm moving on to reviewing Jolt. Okay, so Jolt is based out of Israel, I believe, and we know Israel is a booming tech hub. Okay, so Jolt describe themselves as a business school for self-made people. Your career deserves a boost. We are a business school for the tech sector. We train exceptional talent and launch and grow exceptional careers. That's interesting. I don't really get their tagline, a business school for self-made people. So Jolt tells you that they have teachers who've worked at top tech companies. So they've got some pretty big logos here, which I feel like is often really standard for startups, is just to put some really big logos on the screen. Okay, so they are a business school that's reinvented. So they have live classes where you solve live challenges, and they're interactive classes. So I like that because then you're not just sitting and listening. So maybe this means that their classes would be quite small and intimate. They are very clear about who teaches their classes, so that's good. And they seem to be quite focused on being practical and not just teaching theory. Okay, so it looks like they offer free training for 3 weeks. So they seem to have 2 programs that they offer, I think. So one is called Bluebird and the other is called Jolt's Kickstart Scheme. So free training for 3 weeks with Jolt, then land a lucrative job in tech sales. 3 weeks doesn't sound like a lot. The only free UK program that trains you into a high-paid tech job in SaaS sales. I didn't gather that from the outset. I feel like Jolt wasn't very clear on what exactly they were going to be teaching you, because I cannot see any type of curriculum. Okay, so it seems like they are trying to give you a broad understanding of the different parts to building products. So like, because they've got design, they've got project management, data. They've got a page here that kind of explains how they built Jolt, and I think that gives them some credibility. To be honest, I don't understand how the Jolt programs actually work. Like, how long does the training take? How much does it cost? It mentions here that there's a free program for people based in the UK, but I don't know if that means it's not available anywhere else. How long do you need to be available? Do they help? How do they help connect you to actual companies and jobs? That's not clear to me. I'm confused because when I click on the application, it looks like it's solely focused on tech sales. But when I go through the syllabus, there wasn't anything really about sales in the syllabus. It says once a candidate has completed 3-week training with Jolt, they will start their work placement with the employer that has interviewed and accepted them in advance. Okay, so it looks like they help place you in jobs. But this seems to also be a very specific initiative that is in the UK only. So I'm gonna just Google Jolt and see what comes up. Okay, here we go. So Jolt is an education startup. They describe themselves as an alternative to MBA. Oh, expand across the UK and into the US, right? So they are currently just in the UK. So their courses are aimed at professionals with undergraduate degrees who have at least 2 years of work experience or 3 years of work experience without a degree, and they've reached a point in their career when they want to upskill in order to move up the ladder or move into a new industry, but they don't want to put their life on hold to re-enter education. Students only accumulate the classes they need to build their own diploma, and if they don't want to complete the full program they don't have to. Okay, students can sign up for lessons via the Jolt app. And they can attend these lessons at their nearest campus. Okay, so their lessons aren't online necessarily, they're actually real life. Lessons are offered outside of traditional working hours, largely in the evening. Once they've completed a lesson or a section, they're given a qualification that can be used straight away or put towards a diploma. Wow, this is interesting. So it's kind of like, instead of going to uni and having to complete every single paper or every single subject and then receive that degree or diploma at the end, you kind of complete it in chunks, but it's like credible enough and you can use it to do something. I honestly feel like I need a little bit more convincing about Jolt. I'm just not quite sure. The article in TechCrunch gives me a lot more understanding about what Jolt does over their website. I think Jolt sounds like something more useful if you are not sure what you want to do and you kind of want to learn a bunch of stuff. The next one I'm going to look at is a little bit different to the other two, and it's called 1 Week PM. Basically, just an online course, and it's been created by one guy. He was previously a product manager and he's put his knowledge into his own online course. But he's very clear about what he does and it's very focused on product management. He does also mention that you learn the fundamentals, but you also land a product manager job. So I'm not sure what that's about. Whether there is, again, some connecting people who complete the course with roles, or if it's just general teaching you how to craft your CV and handle interviews and stuff like that. The course is $197 US. That's far less than the thousands of dollars that I think Jolt and Flockjay will ask you. And this is, if you know, $197 is like 5 or 6 books. So I think it could potentially be worth it. He claims to have helped 2,500 students, which is not a bad number. He's got some testimonials. He lays out what will happen on each day. So I'm guessing you probably receive the course content in your email every day. So you can learn about the PM role in day 1, day 2, how you interview customers and users, day 3, how to write product specifications and estimate development timelines. Day 4 is wireframing, prototyping, design focused. Day 5 is backlogs and roadmaps. Day 6 is fundamentals. Day 6 is technology concepts for PMs. That sounds interesting, and marketing. And day 7, real case studies used to land product management job offers. This course is highly interactive. That's not the impression that I got or what I assumed. Every day you'll apply the fundamentals you've learned to your own PM project at the end of the course week. You'll have your own project to talk about during your interviews, and you get access to a Slack community. You get 70 classes, you get some templates. Let me know if you would like me to actually purchase this content and do a review on it. I don't have much more to say about this. I think this is, you know, more traditional. It's just an online course. I like that he's kind of crafted it and put it together himself, because it looks like he's put a lot of effort into this, and he's very clear about what you get out of it. Okay, I had to take a small break, so if the camera looks a bit different, that is why. Now, the next one I'm going to be reviewing is Skillcrush. On Google, Skillcrush says that you learn to code, you land the job, and you change your life. Online classes in web design, coding, and other super marketable digital skills. Skillcrush specialize in coding, design, and user experience, which it's good that it's really clear exactly what their focus areas are. Looks like you can start for free, which is always good. Risk-free. Skillcrush is online and it's flexible. It's mentor-led, so you have courses led by an instructor. You have the opportunity to reach out to them, get feedback when you need. Skillcrush have very specific courses that you can do. They have 3 courses focused on development, so as you can see here, and then they have 2 that are focused specifically on design. Let's go into a particular course. So if I pick Python, web apps, and data, so it takes on average 3 months to complete. Wow, this is really informative. So, okay, so their syllabus is laid out pretty well. It tells you what you're going to learn in each lesson. You build web apps. It looks like they give you something practical to do. There are 12 classes over 3 months, so roughly 1 a week. That seems good. I really like that they have examples of the projects you'll be working on. It seems very tangible and not, again, just theory that you're going to learn. It has specific tools that you'll learn, what skills you will walk away with, and obviously you'll get a certificate. Okay. They are very clear about who this is for and who it's not for. So they have those 5 courses that are either specific to development or design, but then they also have this option which is break into tech course package. So this looks like it is a bit broader. So this is a comprehensive personalized program designed to give you all the skills, support, and confidence you need to make a career change into tech. Self-paced classes, one-on-one mentorship, customizable career tracks. So what do you get as part of this? You map out a career plan, you have some sessions that are live, you build a portfolio. So I'm wondering if that portfolio is related to either development or design projects that you do. You do the Break into Tech course, they take you through, they fast track you through everything. So they fast track you through some front-end development and design, and WordPress and full stack development as well, and they go over some career training. Okay, that's cool. So this is like a little bit of a, it's like a little bit of a taste, it's a preview into what some of the other more specific courses could include, but it looks like they do have a trial period and some kind of free coding bootcamp, so that could always be a low risk way to start. I would say Skillcrush is similar to any kind of other online learning bootcamp, something like General Assembly, maybe Udemy, Khan Academy as well. Skillcrush, it looks like it's something that you just create an account and sign up yourself. There's no application process, and they do have a 14-day change of mind period for which you will get a full refund. So I think that's great. So if you're interested in getting into coding, if you're interested in design and you want to get a taste of whether this is for you, and if something, then Skillcrush could be for you. Whereas the Flockjay and the Jolt are more focused on tech sales. This will give you more technical skills in design and development, and this will be useful if you want to become a developer or a designer. You could look at any other boot camps as well that are for design or development. Some that come to mind are General Assembly, Khan Academy, Udemy, Code Academy I think is another one, so just to give you some examples there. So what are my genuine thoughts on these boot camps and this accelerated pace of learning and entry into tech? So first, I think it's great for people who do not have any exposure to tech at all, and they don't even realize that this is a possible career path for them. I think it's a great way to get a taste of what it could be like without obviously going and doing a degree, which you really don't need to these days anyway. So I think this could create a lot of opportunities for people that will really thrive in tech, and it gives them a really low risk, short amount of time to do that, test it out and see if it works for them. Secondly, I think these boot camps set you up for entry into a specific role, but obviously then you have to learn on the job and actually pave your way in that particular role. And that's really when the real work comes in. So I think this is a great way to get a start. It's a great way to get your foot in the door, but you need to make sure you end up working in a company that is going to support you if you are less experienced. Third, I think these boot camps and online learning products are good if they can genuinely help to connect you with employers at the end. Like Flockjay, for example, they almost guarantee that you will get a placement at the end. And so that means they've done a lot of the hard work in connecting with companies that have the appetite to provide you the training if you are less experienced, and that's what you want. Generally speaking, I'm really excited to see where this new way of learning and new way of potential recruitment goes over the next few years. Just because we're already seeing quite a few businesses offering these kind of services, I think that means there is appetite in tech companies to take on people and recruit people that go through this really fast-paced learning style. I always say that I definitely don't think you need a degree to work in tech. A lot of it is really around how you can demonstrate the skills that you have. So for example, for design and for engineering, do side projects, build a portfolio for yourself, demonstrate the skills that you have if you've done that through self-learning, and sometimes that can be far more valuable than a degree. So I do hope this was useful, kind of a different video for me. And please share any other products and services who are offering, you know, fast-paced learning, getting into tech. If there are any other companies that you know of that are focused on fast-paced learning, getting entry into tech, especially into non-tech roles, please leave them in the comments. These are just the 5 that I've come across myself. And if you would like an in-depth video on any of these, also let me know and I would be glad to do that. If you did get this far, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget to check out my TikTok account. It is called The Product Pup, and it's where I post daily videos, multiple times a day sometimes, all about product, tech, business, ideas, startups, and everything related.